Well, this is Jamie, host of the Jamieegenti Show, broadcasting live each week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios. Log on to hear sports talk from basketball to football and view your feedback on the biggest sports news you want to talk about from around the world. So be sure to log on each week Tuesdays at 12 p.m. to catch the Jamieegenti Show. Hope to see you soon
on Fishbowl Radio Network.
Jump in.
Welcome to the Beyond the Game podcast on Fishbowl Radio. My name is Jamie, and this is our last episode of 2023, guys. So, welcome. Thank you for joining me out here. Sorry for being late. It was my fault. We were just discussing some things and all that stuff. But hopefully in 2024 we'll be off and running. We'll be right on time, and everything will work out in 2024. But last show of the year, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me all throughout, and thank you for listening to my nonsense takes. But now, I hope everybody's Christmas went well. But now let's talk about this Cowboys game. You talk about a major disappointment. Right? This is one of the few games that you had to win, right? Every possession that we had on Sunday was a possession that went wrong. We weren't Dak at the line of scrimmage, which I'll give you his numbers in a second. At the line of scrimmage, I felt like he wasn't in control. Let's explain. So, quarterback, Dak, went 20 for 32 for 253 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was sacked 4 times. I think Bradley Chubb sacked him twice. I have the stat right here. Bradley Chubb sacked him twice, I think. Bradley Chubb. So he got 1.5 sacks. So Bradley Chubb got sacked him one. Yeah, you can say twice because, obviously, yeah. So Bradley Chubb got to him. He didn't play his best. He ran the ball 5 for 25, and the play calling was really off. So when I looked at it, right, I looked at the first play. I said, okay, we're going to get this right. We're going to score 7 points. Okay. Dak threw the ball well on the first drive. When he got to the goal line, that's when all hell broke loose. Now, I question the play calling of Mike McCartney because you have a solid running back there. You have Dak, who has used his legs all game, all season long in that backfield. Why don't you do a quarterback sneak? While everybody's doing the tush push, you could do this tush push at the 1 yard line, Mike. I don't know what Dak squats, but Dak can get through the line. Dak can jump over and score that touchdown. You don't have to hand it off to Hunter Limke and give him his first touchdown run of his career. You don't have to do that. It'll be nice, but you don't have to do stupid things like that. You know what Hunter Limke was thinking? He was thinking, I'm going to score my first touchdown. He got overhyped about that, but said you got to hold the ball first. You got to have the ball first. So I blame the play call in that first session. I blame Dak for not taking the ball in. Screw Mike McCartney. Get the fucking ball over the line. This game completely could have changed if I don't know what type of what the communication was. Both of those guys should all 3 of them should get the blame for that. Dak, Hunter Limke, and Mike McCartney. You don't give the ball to your fullback at the 1 fucking yard line. You run the ball with your quarterback. Your quarterback squats over 400 pounds. Maybe I'm making stuff up. But Dak can run. He can run. You don't utilize Dak in the running game, which I think you have to. I think you have to. Playing with Miami is a defensive team that they run to the ball. So you can outrun them with your legs. You ran the ball 5 times, Dak. This should have been number 6. Should have been at least 6 times for 26 or 27 yards and a touchdown. But instead, you make stupid plays like this. You win stupid prizes. You can't make stupid plays like this. So the protection wasn't that great at all. We had Odogo guarding left side. Really, I really honestly want the Cowboys to draft a left tackle. We can't trust Tyron Smith anymore. If you're taking a day off every other Wednesday, Thursday, it's not going to work out. It's not going to work out, Tyron. And I'm not saying just retire. I'm saying you have to. These guys have to be ready. Your replacement, Odoga, has played that position in practice. He should have been ready to defend that left side. Do you know how many people were going to that left side in Miami? Bradley Chubb dominated that because he got 2 sacks. Andrew Van Ginkel dominated that side. Whoever they put on that side dominated. So in this case, whenever your number is called upon, you have to be ready to accept the challenge. Period. I don't care if you're a rookie. I don't care if this is your 10th year in the league. You have to be ready. This is crucial. We got to protect it. That's why I always said the left side of the line, it is the best. Not the best position in football, but it is the weakest position in football, and high-end defenders get to that side and they get to your quarterback more often than not. But that play calling was off. The whole entire thing, Dak didn't know what to do, to the point where your wide receiver was going up to Mike McCartney and asking him, I'm pretty sure he was asking him, why am I not getting the ball? Which I will explain that on my next point. So, this is not Dak's fault. He again, y'all need to stop blaming Dak. For every loss that we maneuver, for every play that he makes, for every interception that he has thrown, y'all need to stop. Unless you're under 2 minutes remaining, you're driving the ball down the field and he throws a pick. Yes, I will blame Dak for that. But you know what? Brock Purdy threw 4 interceptions last night. Brock Purdy threw 4 interceptions last night. Is San Francisco blaming their quarterback? Yeah, are they blaming their quarterback? Hell yes, they're blaming their quarterback. Because you threw 4 interceptions, you put the defense in no man's territory. You're saying, okay, you're going to beat us. You're saying that we're giving up the game. You're giving the Ravens a chance in good position, in good field position to score points, which they did. So not only is San Francisco blaming Brock for this game, Dak will get more heat than Brock Purdy. That's a different conversation for a different day. But let's get to Tua. Tua said some interesting things to the point where he played his best. Wasn't great. He threw a touchdown pass. He threw for 37 times. 24 was completed, for 293 yards. He was sacked once. He didn't ask for much. And honestly, he improved. I saw a lot of improvement from him from last season. He wasn't taking as much hits because he was protected well. I disagree with the roughing the passer call of Michael Parsons. Michael Parsons has been held a lot, and these officials will not deter to that. They will not listen to that. And I will tell Michael Parsons, on your podcast today, or whenever that may be, you have to understand that you cannot blame the officials for the game, or else the NFL will go for your pockets. So they're in the playoffs because of his leadership. I love how Tua has taken over the leadership in the locker room and curing out the outside noise. So number 2, CeeDee Lamb's leadership. Now CeeDee Lamb at some point needs to show some leadership. We have given you the ball 10 times a game. 6 receptions for 118 yards and a touchdown. They even try to run it for you, CD. They even try to put you in the backfield and they say, you know what? We need to get CD involved. We're going to treat CD like a Debo. We're going to treat CD like not even Odell. We're going to treat CD like a Debo. We're going to treat CD like a Christian McCaffrey. Okay? Those guys are multi-talented for a reason. You play the position well. You're very talented at receiver. These guys that are Mike McCarthy is drawing on stupid plays of putting CeeDee Lamb in the backfield just to give him a touch. Like what the Mike McCarthy at some point CeeDee Lamb's a receiver. This is why you don't know your personnel, Mike. You don't know your personnel now. You don't even know who's on your team. Who is on your team, Mike McCartney? You know one position in Dak Prescott. I mean, you probably know Michael Parsons because everybody talks about him in the room and in the national media. But you don't know your personnel. It goes back to the conversation I had with Gabe from last season. I said they don't know their personnel. They don't know the personnel. See, why in the hell is my multi-million-dollar wide receiver lining up the backfield, even though he's been blanking it, just to give him a touch? He balled out in the first half. He went up the seam for 75 yards. It was 50. My bad. It was 50 yards. Let's play the clip, please, of CeeDee Lamb going up the field for 50 yards. Let's play that clip, please.
In the league. So how much does McCarthy want to rely on that in these early downs?
Second down, pumped out, put through again. Lamb in stride, room to run. He's down inside the 20. Makes a move. CeeDee Lamb is going to score.
Want CeeDee Lamb to do. Okay? You are a wide receiver. You see how you caught that crossing pattern for a 50-yard touchdown? You saw how you did that? Magnificent. We need more of that. We need more of that. Now let's play a clip from your press conference, please, which I have some choice words for you. Let's play that clip, please.
I always want to come up with a win. Obviously in those tough games, tough situations, but learn a lot in these type of games, and I know that we're going to bounce back. This narrative around us not winning at home away is my fault. Strange but true, unfortunately. But we know what we got to do. We got to continue to be great, continue to be who we are, and change that narrative coming down the stretch.
You were heavily involved in the first 2 drives, then again at the end. What happened in the middle there that they were?
They wasn't doing anything. I don't know. I just feel like if I'm going to be involved, just keep me involved and let the game do what it got to do. But yeah, I agree. It was weird the second and third quarter. Very weird.
What do you take away from the way you guys were able to make so many clutch plays in that go-ahead drive?
It proves who we are, man. We are definitely a team that's ready for those type of moments, those type of games, the big games. And I don't doubt that one bit. We have great playmakers in all levels of the game, you know. And I trust them boys with my life. So for us to come up short is very unfortunate for us. We know we got to go back to the drawing board, but man, we got to come up with these type of games. That's just what it is.
So there's a chance that you guys are gonna obviously play Detroit next week, but if you do start the playoffs on the road, you're gonna have to face this kind of narrative kind of up front.
Exactly.
I guess how do you guys kind of approach that?
We got to live with it. The things that we've put out in this season, we got to own it, you know. And I'm not I'm not opposed. I wouldn't say I'm opposed to it because obviously, once again, the things that we've done away haven't been nearly what we've accomplished at home. But it really don't matter where we play. You know, we got to be able to overcome all adversity, no matter hostile environment or not. Cowboys travel well, so pretty much every away game is a home game. You know, shout out to the fans for that. But we got to do what we got to do on the field.
You guys have said that you believe that you have a Super Bowl caliber team. When you get this close, and now with the season kind of coming this close to an end, how much urgency is there to fix those little things to get to before you get to the playoffs?
I feel like we are the team that we want to be. It's just we can't have any missed opportunities.
Okay, so anyways, that's CeeDee Lamb right there, courtesy of YouTube, by the way. So you're right, but let me say this. You were targeted 10 times for 6. Okay, we caught the ball 6 times. Okay, we have tried everything we can to get you the ball. Okay, yes, Miami wasn't physical enough in the secondary. Yes, unfortunately they weren't. However, though, your quarterback needs to get you the ball. Your quarterback needs to read the line of scrimmage and say, you know what, we can attack this part of the field. We can attack that part of the field. Your coach needs to make adjustments, and Mike McCartney has not made adjustments for CeeDee Lamb. Anytime somebody's locking him up. In this case, Miami did not lock him up. So what does he do? He ignores Mike McCartney. Sorry, he ignores CeeDee Lamb. Mike McCartney does. That's your playmaker, Mike. You didn't ignore Donald Driver and the other receivers at Green Bay. You didn't ignore Amari Cooper. He went for 266 in Cleveland on Sunday. So you got to cater to CeeDee Lamb's strengths. Stop put him in the backfield just to give him a touch. Put him on the field. Run some go routes. Go across the field. Make the secondary work. Number 3, the defense came back. However, Jason Sanders hit 5 field goals, okay? They were driving the ball. They had 91 yards rushing as a team. My question is, why do they play man-to-man? That's my question. Why is Dallas a heavy man-to-man team? Why can't you scheme it up with zone? Why can't you cover up? Well, why can't you do a cover 2? Do you think you get beat that way? Do you think that Jalen Waddle was this injured ass and Tyreek Hill, he was hurt as well, going to beat you down the field? They weren't. Those 2 guys were both beaten up. They were not going to beat you down the field. You can go zone. You can do all those things. And Micah, let's play a clip from Micah, please.
Look at it.
Let's take a look. That happened so fast. I mean, it's easy in slow-mo. I think live.
So that was the roughing the passer penalty that Micah had. I don't agree with it. Football has really changed, guys. When I was watching, that was legal. And you're telling me that we can't even touch the quarterback. You're telling me we can't go up to the quarterback and hit him. I'm not saying hit him in the face. I'm not saying hit him helmet to helmet. I'm saying hit him. I'm saying push him a little bit. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that. That's football. That is football. But that's a stupid penalty, which actually they scored a touchdown before the half on that. But instead, you could have been either off the field, because I'm pretty sure Miami was going for it, or you could have had a turnover. So in this case, instead of being a 9-7 game, this was a 13-7 game at the half. So there was so momentum shifted to Miami's side because they scored a touchdown before the half. So how does Micah fix it? You don't fix it, Micah. You don't fix it. You just play. You just keep playing. These officials are different. They're different. They're not going to. Some officials may call a roughing the passer when the quarterback let it go completely, or they may call it to the point where they'll probably call it to the point where it doesn't matter as much. So, with that being said, I just don't think Micah should argue over that and bitch about it. We can't do that, Micah. We need you on the field. We need you on the field. Keep doing what you're doing. Number 4, fans' frustration. Now, we're entitled. We're not real. Some people are. Some people are not. I'm real. I'm part of those realness people. Honest? Yes. I'm honest. I try to be, but I'm honest. Number 4, how to be positive after a crucial loss. You can't, because that's the difference between the division title and momentum built for the playoffs. It's different. So when you win the division, okay, yeah, you took number 1 off the board. Yes, you won the NFC East. Yes, but you gotta be able to win the last few games to get yourself ready for the postseason. In this case, we're not ready at all. And I'll explain in a second. So, how to be crucial over a loss. A crucial loss, right? Let me bring sport. I don't want to bring real life to it, but let's talk about football. Okay, so your football team, right? The Dallas Cowboys had a chance to win an NFC East title. Not only have that, but rest your starters. Rest the likes of Dak, Tank, Micah, CD, Brandon Cooks, Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, Tyler Smith, Tyler Biotish, Terrence Steele. Rest for the playoffs. You don't get that. You don't get that rest. Now you got to play the games just to build momentum for the playoffs. What if you get hurt this way? What if you get hurt the next game? God forbid if you get hurt. But I don't think you'll get hurt. How to be positive? There isn't any. There's no positivity. There's none. Players who are competitive keep this in their soul forever. Ask all the Hall of Famers. Ask all the guys that have done it, have played the basketball professionally. God forbid Kobe Bryant. God rest his soul. Wasn't satisfied with winning a game. He'll be the most pissed off dude in America if the Lakers lost a game. And to this day, we got some dudes running around. They get blown out by 30 points. There's not a care in the world. I, for one, here care. If I know that my team out there is getting beaten by 30 points, or if I'm not performing my duties, or if Angelo does not perform his duties by putting the board up together and putting this whole entire studio together, there's no positive outcome. They have to do their job. Might as well. I got to do my job by giving y'all, watching the film and giving y'all intensive content. He has to do his job by going through the board up and telling me what to do. He has to do that. Sammy as well. Keeping the building open, keeping the lights on. If they lose, they're not going to lay down and say, hey, oh yeah, oh happy day, we got this tomorrow. No, they're going to keep working until they get it right. That's why he's here. That's why Angelo's here, and that's why Sammy's here. That's why I'm here. See, I haven't slept since 3 a.m. I've been up, yes, I've been up. You know why? Because I've been fixing this thing to get ready for this. I take pride in what I do. Y'all young ones should do it too. And let's play a clip from this woman that called in, had the audacity to everybody in the call is pissed off at this Cowboys loss. And this woman said, oh, happy day. I'm going to criticize her in a second, but let's play that clip, please.
Unfortunate that happened, but it was the right call.
Who do you think the most penalized Cowboy player is?
Ooh, I think it might be Tyler Smith.
It's Tyler Smith. You're absolutely right. Do we all hate Tyler Smith?
No.
I mean, do we? I mean, I'm just.
But granted, you mentioned the selecting of players. We knew Tyler Smith.
Tyler Smith
was the most penalized player in
That's
college
exactly right.
When they took him.
That's exactly right. Yeah. But see, that's what I'm saying. You kind of go in knowing that there's a potential for that. I think we all love Tyler Smith.
Yeah.
But he is the most penalized Dallas Cowboy. He's got 10 calls this year.
Great point.
9 of them holdings.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 877-881-1053. Let's go to Yvonne in OKC. What's going on? Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you guys.
Thank you.
First of all, I've listened to this show forever. I'm a Cowboys fan. I've been around for every Super Bowl. I'm really upset with this radio station. Every show is negative. Whether we win, lose, or draw, it's negative. I saw just what you guys saw. The offensive line on the left-hand side was horrible. Terrence Steele didn't play well. Mike McCarthy got out-schemed, got out-coached for the second, and third quarter. But we saw exactly what you guys saw. But this station, to represent the Dallas Cowboys as the Dallas Cowboy radio station, you guys are too negative.
Ma'am,
I tune you out
what do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? You want us to just homer this thing up the whole time?
Brian, I'm not asking you to homer anything. What I'm saying as a person listening, you're negative.
Well, then I'm
all
sorry.
The time.
Yeah,
Dak gets no love from this station, whether he wins or he doesn't.
I disagree. You don't listen all the time. Then you do not listen all the time.
I do listen all the time.
You do not, because
I work from home 11 hours a day, so it's on 105.3. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, the thing about it is, I think the station has been fair when it comes to criticism of this football team. Well, then I don't agree with you either, ma'am. I really don't.
That's fine. I'm not here to argue with.
I'm not. No, I'm just.
That's what I'm doing.
No. You came towards us and you say that we're negative all the time. I don't think there's listeners to this station that like, if you sit there and homer it up all the time, it's like, well, wait a minute, what are you doing here? Why are you doing in that? I think we've been fair with this. I really do. Well, I think that we've been fair overall with how this team, when this team finds ways to win, when this team finds ways to lose.
Yeah, Ivana, I appreciate the call. I mean, I will say I was definitely campaigning for Dak to be the MVP when he was going on a 5-week run. I've gotten in arguments with other people at our station. I've been called a homer before. I mean, there's definitely people, and you probably aren't alone in thinking that, but you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't sometimes when you're in this profession, because there's times where I think after wins, especially when Dak's played well, I know for a fact I've definitely given Dak his praise on our post-game show. I think we have given Dak his credit. We just talked about the tight window throws and the play that he made earlier where he's about to get sacked. He's in the grasp, and somehow I don't know how he got the ball off. But when this organization, the standard is championships, is it not? You're going almost 30 years without sniffing a Super Bowl. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass.
I agree.
And tell you that it's okay.
Yeah,
because it's not.
I totally agree.
It's not.
Yeah.
And Yvonne, honestly, the reason why it is okay is because you want us to kiss their asses when they're losing.
Yeah.
And you keep buying tickets and you keep buying merchandise and money's still being printed. So it's okay. And until that changes, which it never will, you're not going to see the results that you want to see. So I'm sorry if we're being negative, but it's not acceptable for the Dallas Cowboys, to go almost 30 years without an NFC championship berth, and that's what you're looking at.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
You shouldn't be mad at us. You should be mad at that football team. That's who you should be mad at.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough.
But, you know.
So shout out to those guys. Courtesy of 105.3 The Fan. So let me say this about Cowboys fans fake Cowboys fans like Ivana. Okay? Why do you even care? You sound like a person that you just started watching football. You sound one of those people that oh, well, you know, let me see what all the hype is. Let's see what's all the juices about Dak. Let's see all about the juices about Micah. Because that's the only media thing that they only talk about. Micah and Dak, Mike McCarthy. Those three guys that get the most criticized ever. Now, Ivana, you can sit at home and still support the team. But on this show and other people's shows, we're always going to be real and negative about the Cowboys. You have lost a crucial game, a game that you needed to win. You needed to win in Buffalo last week, but obviously the results weren't the results. You needed to beat the Cardinals, but obviously, you know, that didn't come to fruition. You could have beat the Eagles the first time. So what silver lining do you want to see? To me, there isn't any. We have no momentum heading into the postseason. We're about to face a team that is going to whoop our asses, and then another team that is not, that even though they're not playing for nothing, but I'm going to explain that others because he might have to hear this. But Ivana, you are so wrong. You are so wrong in so many ways. You want to sit there and kiss Dak's ass when the quarterback has refused to set responsibility. You want to sit there and have a running back not run for 1,000 yards. You want us to kiss CeeDee Lamb's ass. CeeDee Lamb is complaining for the ball. Even though we have given him many opportunities to get the ball, sometimes he doesn't even want to fight for the fucking ball. We have an offensive line that is hurt. You're giving your left tackle Wednesdays and Thursdays off. Zach Martin's playing on a bum ankle. Terrence Steele has in and out games. Tyler Biadasz is Tyler Biadasz, and Tyler Smith is the most penalized penalized left guard in the game ever. We're kissing Michael Parsons' ass. Michael Parsons wants to blame Stephen A. and others for the Cowboys' downfalls. And then we don't have no middle linebacker. Tank does his fake-ass pump-up video after beating the 4 weakest teams in the league, including the Eagles. And then we have a so-so secondary. Our kicker has been productive. And then you got dumbass Jerry be on the fucking radio every single week, giving us false hope. They're asking him stupid football questions. Jerry Steve will never come on this show because first of all, we will ask those questions. We will ask the questions about business. We won't ask the questions about football questions. We'll ask business questions. What are you doing in Frisco to enhance the Cowboys? What are you doing in Arlington that are enhancing sponsors to sponsor this team? This team's going to continue to get sponsors and get national notoriety. They're going to get that in Frisco too. That's what the Cowboys are built on. And you got motherfuckers like Stephen A. Smith and Angelo and others continue to laugh at us. Every year is something. Every year we can never get over that hump of getting to an NFC title game. I'm not talking about a Super Bowl. I'm talking about a title game. The Chiefs have done it. You know what? It amazes me. I've been watching a lot of football this weekend, and it amazes me how structured they are. Even though Pittsburgh is going through their issues right now, they are structured. They can fix it in a heartbeat. Get the Kansas City Chiefs, they can fix that shit in a heartbeat. Cleveland, they can fix it. The Eagles, as annoying as they are, fixable. Yes. The Giants, yes. It takes one play to fix a whole entire organization. Just one. In this case, you give the Cowboys numerous chances to fix an organization. To have losses like this, to have Jerry say some stupid ass shit every single week, to have Steven say the same damn thing. This thing is going down. This thing is going down fast. It's almost like they don't care. It's almost like, okay, we can build a new restaurant inside Cowboy Stadium. We can charge people $20 for a Monster hot dog. We can charge $5 for drinks, which in this case, you're crazy. You're crazy. We get up the tickets to $300 a game. Okay? We can up those tickets. And I saw something. I think I saw the Panthers charging their fans $8 to get into the stadium. I think it was the other day. Oh, yeah, it was against the Falcons because they're no longer in playoff contention.
Hey, this is Pastor Eric Jones.
So, with that being said, I'm like, if the Cowboys were to do that, do you know how many fans will go crazy? I think it'll be a dogfight, and I don't think Jerry will do that because he'll lose his business, right? The type of business, the type of money that you give to these lame-ass performers to perform at your stadium every Thanksgiving is the amount of money that you could spend on players like that, like Micah, like CD, like Dak, like others to stay on this football team to build a championship. Right now, this is not a championship franchise. It's not. It's the Dallas Cowboys. We're iconic. We're an iconic franchise. We're not there championship-wise. We are never going to be there. As long as Jerry and Steven are alive, well, not wishing them dead or anything, they're going to control 110% of this team and the moves they make. You could have gone for Derrick Henry in Tennessee. Okay, great. You could have gone for Kevin Byard in Tennessee. Okay, fine. You need another safety? Fine. You could have gone for Darius Leonard. You have to sell him. Now, you have to put up a fight. Darius Leonard, when you met with him, wasn't much of a fight. It was just a meet and greet. The same treatment you gave to Odell is the same treatment you gave to Darius Leonard. That's why when we went to the Eagles, because the Eagles said, we have something here. We may be on a slide right now, but we have something here that we can build up for the future. The Eagles are not going to win a championship this year, but they are building up for another run at it again, season after season after season. They're structured. And that's the worst case scenario, Ivana. If you want to see Eagles host a trophy, You want to see the Giants host a trophy one day. Even the Commanders in 2030 host a championship trophy one day. Be my guest. But we'll still be here going to the postseason every year, and you'll see the results. You'll see the results. Now, my final take. Dallas 20, Miami 22. The Eagles. I looked at the Eagles. Speaking of the Eagles, I looked at them. They won their game 33-25 over the Giants. Even though the Giants put up a fight, they replaced Danny DeVito. That story was over. And I told y'all, I said, this is Jeremy Lin of New York. Remember Jeremy Lin from 10 and 11 years ago? Where is he at now? Now, Danny DeVito, I'm not saying Danny DeVito will have the same career as Jeremy Lin. I'm saying that Danny DeVito needed to sit down for a bit. He was struggling a lot. So Tyrone Taylor came in. He almost led the Cowboys to come back. Maybe a pass interference on the last possession, but these guys are playing for their jobs. You got the Lions and the Commanders. And let me tell you about the Commanders and the Giants real quick. And Angelo needs to hear this because we had a conversation about the Commanders. You're playing for your job next year. Sam Howell's playing for his job next year. Ron Rivera is playing for his job next year. He wants to coach his football team, which he should not coach his football team. You fire your defensive coordinator and also your defensive backs coach. There's a problem with you. There's a problem with you. Okay? You could easily beat the Cowboys. You could play spoiler, but is it worth getting the top 10 pick in the draft? Is it worth it if one player... Look at Bryce Young in Carolina. Is it worth it? So, you can tank. Be my guest. However, remember, you can be replaced next year. This is the National Football League. It's not like the NBA. You have a spot on a two-way contract, or you can be like, you can have a high-end contract and still be on the team. This is the NFL. You can get replaced anytime by injury or by lack of play. It happened to Sam Howell. How does Jacoby Brissett get replaced by Sam Howell against the Jets? It nearly won the game. Nearly. Guys are playing for their jobs next year. At this point, fine. I will want y'all to fight for your jobs next year. I want Sam Howell to be the quarterback next year. If I'm the Commanders, I want y'all to run the ball more next season. I don't know what it will take, but I want y'all to hire the right coach because I do believe Ron Rivera will be fired. Hire a coach that cares. Hire an energized coach. You see all the young ones running around like Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, others, DeMeco Ryans in Houston. You see the atmosphere over there? Look at that atmosphere in Houston. Everybody's showing out. You want that atmosphere in Commanders, right? You want that. Hire a coach that cares. So in this case, if he wins 2 more games, he's still going to be the coach. Hands down. But it's not time to rest the starters. Believe it or not. But you know what? Maybe you beat the Lions. Maybe you beat the Lions and then you rest Dak and others. But here we go again. If you get to that conversation again against the Commanders, Dak will be advocating to play. Oh, we want to play for pride. Oh, we want to play to fix this. Like that. You can fix all that shit in practice. Why do you need to play in the game to fix your running, to fix the play calling? Why don't you fix that in practice? That's what practice is for, right? Why you gotta do it in the game? I know game speed is different than practice speed, but why you gotta risk it? Take the rest, get to the playoff game, and be ready for Tampa or whoever wins the NFC South. But in this case, you may face the Eagles again. Going on the path of where you're going right now, you may face the Eagles again in the first round. So, Mike McCartney, is he seat hot? It's not hot because Mike McCartney is a regular season he wins in the regular season but loses in the playoffs. Okay, y'all want to continue to blame Dak and blame Micah and blame these players. Y'all should really take a look at Mike McCartney. Really take a look at him and see if he's going to coach past 2025. Yes, past 2025. Let's see what happens next season and then the following season. And then, if we have the same results but no championship tied to that, it's time to make a move. And I'm not saying, and I'll be very surprised if Jerry makes that move in the offseason. Because that's his guy. But let's go to college football first, because this is my take on it. So college football preview. That preview will be January the 1st. That's New Year's Day. The reason why we're doing it right now is because we are about 6 days away from playing that game, that playoff game, the controversial playoff game. We got Michigan and Alabama first. And here's what you need to watch for, the one thing that you need to watch for. But first, let me read off some things. Michigan, they average 37 points a game. Defensively, they're giving up only 10 points a game. They have sacked the quarterback 33 times, so that's pretty good. However, 14 players have transferred out of their program, including their Week 1 starter of last season, which was Katie McNamara. He started majority of 2022. Then J.J. McCartney took over. He goes to Iowa. So he's transferring to Iowa now. But you have 9 incoming. Now, they played the victim card. Jim Harbaugh was suspended for 3 games. And Sherrod Moore took over for those 3 games. And Sherrod Moore, the reason why he did not get noticed by these other college football programs is because the reason why he didn't get noticed is because you got to own it. The way you said this is Jim Harbaugh's team, yeah, you're right. But when you're taking on an interim role, I don't care if the coach is suspended or whatnot, or he's fired, you got to own it. These coaches, these college football programs, they want you to own the program. That's why you didn't get any opportunities. Your name was listed, but the reason why you didn't get any opportunities is because you didn't own it. The players, I'm pretty sure they didn't want you to own it, or yourself didn't want you to own it. But when you have that opportunity, own it. It's like being, I hate to say in a relationship, but you got to own it. Like the candy, I'm gonna buy it, but I own it now. Tablet, I own it because I purchased it. I own it. In Michigan, I own this job. I want to make sure that I got this. Maybe Jim Harbaugh was preparing you for bigger opportunities out there. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But I do think, Sherrod, you will get a coaching job one day, but today is not the day. You got to own that shit, bro. You got to own it. But to win, focus. Don't focus on what happened in the past. Okay? When January 1st hits, even though it's still the 2023 season, you got to put the past away. It's like garbage. You throw it away, you never see it again. It gets written, or it gets put in the fire. It's completely gone. So whatever happened to Jim Harbaugh during the season, when he got suspended, you got to put that in the past. Jim Harbaugh is your coach. everybody's okay. Focus against Alabama because it's not the results that you wanted. You wanted Georgia. You wanted Florida State. First of all, I don't think you could have beaten Florida State. I don't think you'll beat Alabama. Even though ESPN says you can beat, ESPN has you at 57% chance to beat Alabama. I'm like, Alabama's wrong with their numbers. Alabama can beat Michigan. As long as you have Nick Saban there, Alabama can beat Michigan. All right, so let's get to Alabama. Speaking of Alabama, let's get to them right now. So Alabama has the transfers. This was usual. This is unusual to me. You go from one sport to another sport, but you don't stay with that sport. You're still uncertain for football. So why? So this guy, Tyler Buckner, he played 2 games. He started the South Florida game. He won the South Florida game. He won it only 17-3. So it wasn't the best Alabama game possible. But he started, and now he's transferring to go to Notre Dame to play lacrosse. And I'm like, I know a lot of people told me about lacrosse. I never played the sport. I watched it a little bit. And I said, this is something I cannot get interested in. Why you transferred to Notre Dame to play lacrosse, I have no idea. But that's up to you. You want to play lacrosse, go ahead. But I don't even really talk about it because I don't know anything about it. And when people ask me, hey, you should talk about hockey, you should talk about lacrosse, I know nothing about hockey. I don't care for it. I don't care about hockey. I don't care for lacrosse. I care about football, basketball, and baseball. Those are sports. Lacrosse is a sport as well as hockey. But I don't really talk about that. You got to go in depth in the rules of lacrosse and hockey. And honestly, I don't have time for that. But anyways, 6 players transferred. Weird. How you transfer out of the Hall of Fame coach. I don't know how you transfer. 23 players committed for next season. So a bit of an upgrade from Nick Saban. And Nick Saban will have his guys ready. Milroe will be back for next season, so I think he's chasing his Heisman Trophy, or better yet, he's trying to improve on some things. He really needs to improve on the accuracy. I do think he needs to improve on the accuracy and make sure that the accuracy is upright and everything. But that's why he came back, to give himself another chance. Moral victory. You gotta set moral victories, Nick Saban. You gotta, if you beat Alabama, let's say 35-28, okay, you gotta accept it. It's a big game. You put Michigan out. I'm not saying that's a score. I'm saying you put Michigan out of the playoffs again, and that tells me Michigan's not ready for this. Michigan's a regular season team, but they're not ready for the big time. They're not ready for the SEC play. They're not ready at all. They'd rather face Florida State. But they average 35 points a game, Alabama does, and then give up 18 points a game, which a little bit of a down year on defense for Nick Saban. But however, these teams are getting a little faster and a little stronger. They're scheming up Nick Saban really good. 38 sacks as a team they had, which is low as well. They won the SEC champ. Forgot to mention the Big Ten. Michigan won that as well. So to win, you got to be resilient. You got to make a mark on the program. So that's for Jalen Milroe. I want him to make a mark for the program. You've been out, Jalen Milroe. You've been out in and out of the starting lineup for possibly the first half of the season, and now you own that. That's your job to lose if you play like that again. It gives you time to work with the receivers in off season, to work with Nick Saban, get more endorsements. Which the NCAA is going, the NIL money is going to help a lot. You'll get more endorsements if you win a championship. You're gonna get noticed. You're gonna get more endorsements. You're gonna get everything. So, with that being said, you gotta be resilient. Make a mark on this program. All right, let me get to my Washington, Texas kick, because I like the fact that when I was watching Washington play against Oregon, I said Texas can beat them. So like I said, Texas, 11-1, their final season in the Big 12. They're going to the SEC, guys. And yeah, if you heard my podcast about how Texas measured up in the SEC, y'all should definitely listen. I think I did it last year. Yeah, I did it last year somehow, how they measured up against the SEC. Washington's going to have a problem moving Trevonde Sweat around. He's 362 pounds. Just imagine moving a Hummer around, a full-size car. Just imagine moving a 362-pound man around. He ain't gonna win. And then Quinn Earls, can he keep it up? He threw 21 times for 60. He threw 21 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. So that's pretty good stats. And 3,061 yards passing for the year. So I'm glad he's coming back, because that influenced the decision of Malik Murphy. So Malik Murphy is not coming back. He transferred to Duke for the right reasons. You know, he had to do it because, Arch Manning is right there. He could have stayed there. He could have allowed Arch Manning to either transfer or be the number 3 quarterback again. But he moves up because of Malik Murphy. Malik Murphy wanted an opportunity to play somewhere. He started 2 games and he performed pretty well. It's just that Quinn Earls, this is his team. He owns this. This is his team. He worked with receivers. He took time out of his schedule, worked with receivers, worked with Sark. I'm pretty sure you worked with Sark too, and the receivers as well. He took the time to improve his game. So this is his team. So Malik Murphy made the smart decision of going to Duke. Even though we will never hear his name again. We will never hear his name again unless Duke is relevant. So if Duke wins only 3 to 4 games next season, we will never hear from him. Period. But when Quinn Earls struggles, you'll ask for Arch Manning, and Arch Manning is not ready. He is not ready. Give him the summer to be on college full time, because you got to remember, these guys that enroll early, they're not in college full time. They're only in college for 4 months. And then the offseason program hits, and then they're not even featured until the last game of the year. But their offense, they're putting up 36 points a game. And defending, only 18 points a game that they've given up, which is good. That is that's 12th in the Big 12. That's first in the Big 12. Sorry. That's first in the Big 12. 32 sacks. So a lot of sacks. Expect that. Xavier Worthy, I saw him in crutches. That was around the championship game. So I don't think he's playing. Man, listen. If you're on crutches for 1 week, but you come out and play January the 1st, that's crazy to me. You're still lingering that injury, that foot injury, in Xavier. So if I'm you, it's a game time decision. But nonetheless, the running game will be the difference for Texas. So let's see who they back there. CJ Baxter, Savion Red, Jonathan Brooks. So sad that he went down with an injury. I'm pretty sure he wanted this moment here, because he is the main count of the backs. He wanted this, and now you can't give it to him. Now it's like you have to. Now it's like you have to sit down and watch and be all emotional and say, "Hey, that could have been me running the football." But all it is just be a great teammate. And the number one thing I'm looking for is a perfect game. That means no turnovers. Wide receiver gets what they want. They have 3 of them. Plus a tight end. I'm adding the wide receiver as a tight because he's built like a tight end, but they put him everywhere. Now, I'm talking about Ja'Tavion Sanders. They put him everywhere. And also you gotta have turnovers on your side. You gotta not only force two sacks, you gotta be able to force an interception. Michael Penix can throw one though. He could throw a couple or maybe 3 interceptions at y'all. But I do think that if he throws for 2+ interceptions and is sacked twice to 3 times or more, Texas wins this game. And I wholeheartedly say Texas wins this game 84% of the time. I don't care about ESPN's numbers. ESPN's numbers are way off. They put Washington in there because it's Washington. They wanted a Pac-12 team there, so they wanted each representative from each conference to go there. Unfortunately, Florida State is not there. So, Washington, obviously, this is our last day before to go to break. Washington went 13-0, their final season in the Pac-12. So, I have a question for the Pac-12. If y'all are disappearing, are y'all going to are y'all going to disappear the KO package that I have with y'all too? I have like 7 Pac-12 channels. I think that would be gone as well. I answered my own question. I think that would be gone as well. What emotion does Michael Penix show? So Michael Penix is an emotional dude. He's going to show a lot of it. A lot of it in this game. And the only emotion I want to see is him not holding that trophy. He didn't hold the Heisman. I'm pretty sure he'll hold many Pac-12 trophies, but I don't want him holding this one. You got to keep them in front of them. Keep Washington in front of you. So they got a lot of slow and fast possession, so they can hit you both ways. They had an easy Pac-12 schedule. You can add a USC to Oregon to the mix, but those guys were cupcakes in the making. They got players that you should watch out for, but first, offensively, they average 38 points a game, but they give up 24 points a game, so that's key. So they're focusing on defensive stops. So if they get a stop, they may win the game. If not, then the game rolls on, and they got to rely on a fourth quarter stop with under 2 minutes left, which I don't think Washington can do. Oregon was moving the ball until they ran out the clock. They went for an offside play instead of kicking it off. You had timeouts. You could have kicked it. It did a touchback. You could have done that. Instead, that's not what you did. So the players that you show, not only Penix, you got to watch out for the running back, Dylan Johnson. He's rushed for 1,013 yards at 4 touchdowns. You got to watch for the receiver, Rome Aduzi. Wherever they put him out there, they should have a cornerback or somebody traveling with him at all times. Like I said, they only had 19 sacks. That was last in the Pac-12 as a team. And the one team that prevails on the victory, attention to the detail. I know attention to the detail is the one prevails to victory. I know Michael Penix is going to show a lot of emotions in this game, but if Texas gets Quinn Ewers going and doesn't become the Quinn Ewers of 2022, Texas has a chance. Like I said, for me, it's 84% because I watched Washington. I was very disappointed. Even though they beat Oregon, I was very disappointed how they played. They haven't had a taste of physicality. which Texas has. And I don't think Washington can match that. So this is a Texas game to lose. Then again, your face is Alabama, and then that'll be the result. But we will watch all these games, guys, and I will dive into that matchup next week. But first, coming up next is not it. Coming up next, let's talk about some college basketball and the NBA. We're talking about college basketball on the UNT side, and also some NBA stuff that I found yesterday on the Christmas schedule. So let's play that clip of Stephen A. making fun of us again, please. Before we go to break, I just want Cowboys fans to know what we're dealing with. Let's play that clip, please.
And so I'm offering this simple praise to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways to all you Cowboy fans, didn't I tell you? Oh my goodness! Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Y'all have arrived just in time. Right when I'm about to open my Christmas presents. You never let me down. Merry Christmas, y'all. You hear?
We have to shut him up. We have to shut him up. Detroit and Washington, shut him up. But that's all my football takes, guys. Coming up next, let's dive into some basketball. It's Fishbowl Radio's Beyond the Game.
Pistol. Let him know, girl. I see. Girl, you out here trying to be my wifey. I'ma eat that pussy like it's ice cream. Bet you ain't mad at that like me. I can't leave him alone. Try to change my ways, but the dope boy turn me on. Trap niggas know what I want. So caught up that I can't leave him alone. Can't leave him alone. Try to change my ways, but the dope boy turn me on. Trap niggas know what I want. So caught up that I can't leave him alone.
Why you trying to leave me alone? I'm a D-boy, you know that come with doing you wrong. Now I'm playing, you should know that we've been in this too long. And all your friends really wish that they was on what we on. Girl, you know I got that deep stroke, that hard skip a beach stroke. That put us both to sleep stroke, forget about me, bro. Serious as they come on, play no jokes. Middle of the winter, I get that, that's a heat stroke. Yeah.
I see. Girl, you out here trying to be my wifey. I'ma eat that pussy like it's ice cream. Bet you ain't mad at that like me. I can't leave him alone. Try to change my ways, but the dope boy turn me on. Trap niggas know what I want. So caught up that I can't leave him alone. Can't leave him alone. Try to change my ways, but the dope boy turn me on. Trap niggas know what I want. So caught up that I can't leave him alone.
Chat rapping when he put the dick in it. How you nut and you barely put the tip in it. 60 seconds got him gone, that's a quick minute. He ain't never felt some pussy with some grip in it.
ain't got empathy for me, they stare at me. They use my couch when they needed the therapy. Took what they needed, but never took care of me. They side dollar sign, treat me like currency. Kill all they hopes and dreams if they won't murder me. Sunshine on me, sunshine on me. I just let the sunshine on me. Sunshine on me. I just let the sunshine on me. Sunshine on me. I just let the sunshine on me. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, pray if they run up, I'ma cut up. Bring out these BBs, like the sun up. These niggas Stevie, to the come up. We ain't got my bread up, let them wonder. If I ain't do nothing, I kept it 100. Lotto for real, I ain't never done front. They do what they can, bitch, I do what I want. Trim me they pockets, I told them to run. Sunshine on me, every time I leave the crib, I got it on me. Got it out the mud, I did it by my lonely. Pop my shit down, being low key. Sunshine on me, I ain't giving any hang, bitch, you no peace. Fuck a 2 cent, you can get a 2 piece. If I step back, hit you with the 2, 2, 3. Pray for my enemies, thought I need clarity. They ain't got empathy for me, they stare at me. They use my couch when they needed the therapy. Took what they needed, but never took care of me. They side dollar sign, treat me like currency. Kill all they hopes and dreams if they won't murder me. Sunshine on me, sunshine on me. I just let the sunshine on me. Sunshine on me. I just let the sunshine on me. Sunshine on me. I just let the sunshine on me. Yeah, yeah.
Pray that they pull up, wish they would up if he ain't my slime. He a booger, I ain't gon' joke him, I'ma cook him, sunshine on me. Devin Booker, them niggas with you, they just lookers, they ain't finna shoot. I'ma swish him, your bitch think I'm cute. I'm a jigger, she try give me sugar. I'm a musher, big little nigga, build big speed little nigga, smoke big tree little nigga. We too loud to ignore little nigga. This Iggy get jiggy with niggas, don't make me with Smith me a nigga. I just told him, Otto, you want in my side hoe, I will put you out, you must think you lotto. I'm all you got, ho, you know I'm the guy, ho, the god of the sun and the light like Apollo.
Pray for my enemies, Lord, I need clarity. They ain't got empathy for me, they stare at me. They use my couch when they needed the therapy. Took what they needed, but never took care of me. They side dollar sign, treat me like currency. Kill all they hopes and dreams if they won't murder me. Sunshine on me.
I'm living in sunny, that boy ain't no dummy. I slide off a gummy. I heard I got money, but still dressing bummy. I'm sweeter than honey, I'm sweeter than rapping. Like what the fuck happened? Came back and he snapping, came back with a passion. These niggas was capping, they talking on me. I bought a 9 when that COVID hit. She said my Gucci don't go with it. Just try and be happy, get money tomorrow. My girl hit the lotto, my sons are mulatto. My sons are all healthy, ain't shit you can tell me. I'm hotter than Nelly, they say that I'm smelly. It never smell wealthy, I think. Y'all got messed with like a sink. Skated, you not in the ring.
Pray for my enemies, Lord, I need clarity. They ain't got empathy for me, they stare at me. They use my couch when they needed the therapy. Took what they needed, but never took care of me. They side dollar sign, treat me like currency. Kill all they hopes and dreams if they won't murder me. Sunshine on me, sunshine on me. I just let the sunshine on me. Sunshine on me. I just let the sunshine on me.
I get my
Sunshine on me. I just let the sunshine on me. Yeah, yeah.
Bitch, I'm the golden child.
She got married to a boy like you. She'd kick you out if she ever knew about all the you tell me that you do. Dirty, dirty boy. You know everyone is talking on the scene. I hear them whispering about the places that you've been and how you don't know how to keep your business clean.
Daddy, if you wanna drop the attic, give me love, give me Fendi, my Balenciaga. Daddy, you gon' need to bag it up, 'cause I'm spending on Rodeo. You can wish me back it up, I'll be gone in the AM. He got me Prada, got me Miu Miu like Rihanna. He always call me 'cause I never cause no drama. And when you want it, baby, I know I got you covered. And when
Back to the Beyond the Game podcast on Fishbowl Radio. My name is Jamie. I'm back. So we're talking about basketball on this side. So before I get to my NBA Christmas Day special that I tease about, again, I will talk about college basketball. But maybe on a different podcast, I'll go in full details about it because really, I'm really trying to see how each team in conference play develops. I will have a podcast on that soon. But for now, I have UNT because I went to that school. I could do Texas, like I said, Texas men's, Texas women's. I can watch that. TCU men's, TCU women's. I can also do, as a teaser, I could do UTA men's, possibly the women's, SMU, men's, women's. That's basically it. So I could do those on request. But Texas and UNT, I will do. Maybe I'll throw out TCU in there as well. So I'll do those teams. Now, here's what you need to know about the women's team at UNT. So now, your first conference game comes on Saturday. We need to address some things. You played your final non-conference game last Thursday. You lost to Montana State 71-58. Tamisha Lampkin had 18 points. Desiree Wooten had 14 off the bench. Number one, there was no flow offensively. So when I watched it, there was no flow offensively. You got to have flow running your offense. North Texas is not a well-constructed offensive team. Even though they put up 117 points, you're playing against a lesser opponent. I'm sorry. Of course, you're going to score a lot of faster plays off turnovers. Of course, right? You're going to do that, right? There's no flow on offense. Number two, there's no outside shooting. This team has continued to struggle from beyond the arc. Beyond, not even beyond the arc. You're talking about 20 feet away. That's inside the line. You're struggling from that. I saw a lady, not a lady, what's her name? Shemaya Duncan airball a 10-foot jump shot in Montana. I'm like, this kid can't really shoot jump shots. And I'm like, you need jump shots to win the game. You need jump shots. You don't need layups because you know why? Well, you do need layups. Teams will take away your drives and they will force you to your hand to shoot jump shots. In this case, it's not consistent. It's not consistent. I can do a stat right now. I can pull up a stat and see the percentage of shots from three that you have made. Well, actually, yeah, you made this for this season. I can pull up that stat, but I'm not going to because I don't have to. I could have. So there's no outside shooting. Number three, man-to-man. I was yelling at my laptop yesterday because I said the game's on ESPN Plus. I was yelling at my laptop. Not only the announcers were poor, but the defense was. You allowed Montana State to drive inside. You allowed them to go inside. You allowed them to penetrate inside to kick to their wide open shooters. You're allowing that. Stop allowing that. Like, play man to man. You played zone. You pressured backcourt. They were able to get it over easily. And then you drop into a 2-3 or 3-2 defense. They're penetrating your defense. It's almost like you have no defense. You have to change it up, Jason. This game was your fault. And I can honestly say it was your fault. You did not address the defense. You allowed these fools to go inside your zone, to get penetration after penetration after penetration to post up inside. That's another thing. You didn't even attempt to throw a man-to-man defense. You got to do it. When the zone is not working, you got to go to man. Period. And let's see how you communicate off that. Yeah, I said, another thing is take your timeouts wisely. Your timeouts are irrelevant. You call a timeout because your player was down on the floor with the ball in her hand. That's not how you play. That's not how you call timeout. That's not how you control control your team. When they make a run, you call a timeout to adjust, to calm everybody down. See, this is why I should be coaching. But these motherfuckers will not hire me because you know why? Because we will do everything the right way. We'll win championships. This is not. You can go 10-2. That's great. That's great. But you got to do it the right way. And the right way is you got to call timeouts when your team is getting outplayed by a lesser team. Embarrassing. We literally embarrass ourselves in Montana. Literally. This team has the fans in Montana have no idea who we are. They're like, who are we playing against? Oh yeah, they're 10-1. They haven't played against anyone. They haven't. The only elite team that you played against was Texas A&M, and they killed y'all. But other than that, well, actually, yeah, I can add Texas A&M. I can also add Southern Illinois. Now, that's a real team. However, you can't play against teams like what's the other one? I can't remember the other. Up north. North Dakota, South Dakota. You can't play against those teams. You can't play against HBCUs, even though, yeah, you could. But the competition has to be there, right? The competition has to be there. Montana State, I feel like Montana State did not give y'all a fair fight. They beat y'all at their place. No matter what the altitude is, they beat y'all. Jason did not make any adjustments. You know when a coach doesn't make adjustments because you know when you see the same damn defense in the second half that has not worked. It didn't work in the first half because they got a bunch of three-pointers off. They made everything. And then all of a sudden, it's like all of a sudden, I'm going man. And the later part of the third and the fourth quarter, what are we doing here? The game is already won. It was close, but it was already won. I want you to take your coaching seriously. Take your coaching seriously. This will not fly in America. I'm sorry. This will not fly. It won't. It will not fly. You're telling me you'll go 10-1 in that conference, playing like that. You must be out of your damn mind. And then y'all are the favorites. They put y'all 12th for a reason. Now you can prove people wrong and say you can move up to midway and say, hey, remember y'all had us at 12, but now we're 5th or 6th or even the 3rd spot. Dude, that's one of the teams. That's one of the things. You're in 12th. That's it. So I expect you to go out there in conference play and take it real serious. All right, number 2, UNT basketball on the men's side. So they obviously beat UTA 78-52. Now this team had a brutal road trip. You telling me you go from Boise State, you go to New York, you go to Mississippi, Those are brutal road trips. 3 straight losses on the road. You had no flow on offense. You had no defense. The defense was non-existent in those games. If you talk about defense on North Texas side, it was non-existent. Number one, well, actually, Jason Edwards scored 26 points off the bench. So that's your offense right there. They're always going to have one or maybe 2 guys scoring the basketball. So let me read this stat. So number one, North Texas is 3 for 24 3-point range in the second half. They actually said during the game they have missed 18 straight threes in the second half, and I'm like, this team, if they don't get their act together offensively, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a major problem. You held UTA to 30% in the entire game, so that's good. You held them. That's pretty good. Number 3, 23 points came off their 14 turnovers. So they turned the ball over 14 times. 23 points came off those turnovers, or else it would have been a different outcome if UTA would have taken care of the ball. This was like I said, it's a bounce-back game after 3 straight losses. You remember, you went from Boise State to Boise, Idaho, to New York, and to Mississippi. Those are brutal road trips. You had to take probably 2 to 3 plane rides to get to New York. Get from Boise to New York. It's crazy enough, but it keeps the team together, though. So you got to insert physical dominance at some point. Okay? That's my last point. Even though you're playing against a lesser opponent and losing in LSU Shreveport, I think that is a Division II opponent. I'm not sure, Division I, Division II, wherever the case may be. You got to assert your physical dominance. Because an upset could happen. I'm not saying upset for this game, but I'm saying like it prepares you to get ready for conference play. Now, even though you're going to beat the team by 50 points. So, let's be honest, right? So those are my takes on North Texas play over the last week or so. So now let's dive into some NBA stuff. And before we talk about some NBA stuff, let's dive into some Steve Kerr. Now, Steve Kerr last night was complaining about the officiating. So let's get to Steve Kerr, please.
Finished with 18 free throws, and you guys clearly upset with some of the calls.
Yeah.
Just what did you think about how big a factor was the way he was today?
Yeah, I have no problem with the officials themselves. They're all across the league. We have really good officials. I have a problem with the way we are legislating defense out of the game. That's what we're doing in the NBA. The way we're teaching the officials, we're just enabling players to BS their way to the foul line. If I were a fan, I wouldn't have wanted to watch the second half of that game. It was disgusting. It was just baiting refs into the calls, but the refs have to make those calls because that's how they're taught. So I have a real problem with the way we've legislated defense out of the game in this league, and the players are really smart in this league, and for over the last decade or so, they've gotten smarter and smarter, and they're just we have enabled the players, and they are taking full advantage, and it's a parade to the free throw line, and it's disgusting to watch. Thanks.
Steve Kerr talking about the officiating. Oh my gosh. I'm like, Steve, I don't think he'll get fined for this. He shouldn't get fined for this. Because he's speaking the honest truth. The honest truth is that the officials need to be better. How does Jokic get 18 free throws? Maybe it's John Fowles and all that stuff. Maybe so. But But to his point, what defense what defense do you need to construct? No one plays defense in the NBA anymore. No one. Damn. No one plays defense anymore. When did you ever see a team put up a defensive stat? Never. You never seen that. And so to me, I want to see defense. I want to see defense. I want to see a complete defensive team. I want to see a complete defensive effort. I see a lot of players today not go back to the defensive basics. I seen it yesterday. I think the real reason why I did see it yesterday. The only reason why they play defense is because they're not playing defense all 4 quarters. They're playing defense half of the quarters. If you're talking about if it's a non-holiday game, you're playing defense. You're not playing defense all 4 quarters. You're giving the other team a chance. And it depends who you have on your bench, who is the defensive coordinator, who instructs that defense. Now, Steph Curry, to his credit, took 2 charges last night, which to me, that is incredible. But when are we ever going to take hold these officials accountable for their actions? When are we going to do that? I don't know. I've been really heavy on the officials. Really heavy on them. I feel like some officials are good, some of them are not good for the game. But I feel like that these officials need to work on need to get constructive feedback from players to see what needs to change. And I'm pretty sure if you had a poll, right? If you had a poll or do a survey even of how many players want to see this from every official, I'm pretty sure the numbers will go up. And I'm pretty sure the first player that will put his hat in the ring is LeBron. Even though LeBron is built like a monster, LeBron want that. And I'm like, LeBron, you are a monster, bro. Like, I saw the Boston Celtics, when you went up full speed, they are not going to take a charge against you. They have instructed their players, whenever LeBron goes full speed, you're not taking a charge against the greatest of all time. You're not doing that. Well, some people will. Maybe one other person. I don't know that one other person is. I don't know who would take that charge against LeBron. LeBron will pass it off before he runs over you. Not sure why he does that, but it is what it is. But Steve Kerr, you have a point, but the NBA is not going to fix this. They're not going to fix this. Come on now, you should know this. What does he want them to do? Do you want them to? Do you want them to cater to certain players, certain individuals? They're not going to do that. Just live with it. Number 4, Celtics versus Lakers. I'm tired of the Celtics beat the Lakers 126 and 115. Now Boston has been on scoring tangent lately. They have averaged, I can't remember that. I think they averaged over 130 points a game. That's against the Clippers, the Kings, and the Lakers. Boston can really score the basketball, guys. They can really defend it too, if they want to. But I'm tired of the Lakers and Kendrick Perkins saying we need a third star. What other third star is out there that wants to play for the Lakers? What other third star? You're telling me that Rob Pelinka and others did all that work in off season, but except that in that work, it said that in off season, they did all that work in off season, right? All that work in off season. They went from we needed a point guard, we needed a shooting guard, we needed a small forward, we needed size. They did all that work, but you got the likes of Kendrick Perkins and other Lakers, former Lakers players say we need a third star. What other third stars out there? You're not going to get a third star, period. That's too much. You're asking for a lot. You're not going to get a third star to come on this basketball team. You're not doing that, Gabe. I'm sorry. You're not doing that at all. That doesn't make any sense. You got to play with what you have. Look at the Lakers are loaded. They're loaded with talent. You got Austin Reeves who signed his contract. If you want a third star, you might have to trade him to get that third star, and eventually it will not work out. Because we know this. We know a third star will never work out in the NBA. Ask the Brooklyn Nets. You might want to ask Phoenix as well. Because Phoenix is going through it right now. Bradley Beal has not played a complete game. Again, it goes to playing with what you have. If LeBron or AD or Darvin Ham came out and said, we need a third star on this basketball team, then it won't work out. It will not work out if they came out and said that. It won't work out, bro. Let's stop kidding ourselves. Do you know the type of personality that Cam Reddish, Gabe Vincent, Jackson Hayes, Taurean Prince, D'Angelo Russell would throw? Austin Reeves even? You're telling me you want that one star over those guys? Those guys have done a great job for y'all. Without those guys, y'all will probably 500. Y'all be a 500 basketball team, which pretty much you are. But nonetheless, it'll be a lot worse. I'm sorry, under 500 team. My bad, under 500 team. And you'll be not like the Spurs or the Nets. Not even the Spurs. You might be in the mid pack. So, with that being said, I don't like the fact that Kendrick Perkins says we need a third star. You don't need one because there isn't one in the league. There's stars, but there's not one that can play on the Lakers, and he's got to fit he's got to fit what the Lakers are running. All right, I had a clip, but my board up is not here, so we're gonna play our final. Let's talk about our final thing: Mavericks versus Suns. The Mavericks won this game 128-114 last night. Okay, Doncic had 15 assists, and 6 rebounds. He hit 10K. Now, I wanted to make it a point that Beth Mowins played, I'm sorry. Beth Mowins called the game along with Stephanie White. Now, Beth Mowins said Luka is 25 years old. Okay? He's about to be 26 in February, Beth. He's hit 10K at 26. That's awesome. The amount of work and effort that he's done to his game is incredible and it's unmatched for the Mavericks organization. But man, it's unbelievable. But before we get to the Mamba and the LeBron stuff, I can't play that clip. Okay. Well, maybe we'll play that clip some other time, guys. But nonetheless, that's it for today, guys. Thank you for listening or watching Beyond the Game podcast. We'll be back in the new year. Hopefully with some college football stuff, and hopefully with better things on the horizon. All right, guys. Thank you for listening, watching in 2023. Happy New Year to all, and you've been listening to Beyond the Game podcast on Official Radio. Hey world, this is Jamie, host of the Jamieegenti Show, broadcasting live each week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios. Log on to hear sports talk from basketball to football and view your feedback on the biggest sports news you want to talk about from around the world. So be sure to log on each week Tuesdays at 12 p.m. to catch the Jamieegenti Show. Hope to see you soon
on Fishbowl Radio Network.
Jump in.